Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has given us unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure or admire an old one. What will we find today? Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
A few years ago, my sister-in-law's house transformed the wooded hill next to our house into a neighbor. Looking at that area now, I don't even remember what it looked like before her house was there. Of course, it was in the planning stage for years. Then the land was built up with different kinds of dirt. The foundation was laid, the plumbing and electric was set up, and eventually, it seemed like forever, the structure began to go up. We watched as it went from a skeleton to a roughly boxed-in building. The roof went up, siding went on, and it was shingled and painted a pretty shade of gray. It looked done from the outside, but still much work was needed on the inside to make it livable and comfortable. Even when they were about to move in, lots of last-minute details needed to be taken care of. When the workmen were finally finished, then came the moving and decorating. A lot goes into building a house, but even more goes into making a home. Pictures on the wall, a comfy couch, and color-coordinating sheets don't even make a difference. It's all in the atmosphere, the love, the relationships within the family. And as the Bible reminds us, this has a lot to do with the woman of the house. Proverbs 14:1 says, "A wise woman builds her house, but the foolish pulls it down with her hands." The Bible gives us many examples of both. Leah and Rachel's animosity toward one another tore down relationships inside their family, so that the older brothers hated their brother Joseph so much that they sold him as a slave and told their father he'd been killed. Jezebel fanned the flames of her husband's rebellion against God and even had a man killed to satisfy one of his whims. Her daughter Athaliah followed in her footsteps by influencing first her husband, then her son to rebel against God. Then she killed off all of her grandsons except the one that was hidden. Talk about destroying her home. Other women built up their houses, like Abigail, who interceded for her fool of a husband Nabal when he had slighted David. She begged for his forgiveness and rescued her whole household from David's wrath. Rahab rescued her entire family when Jericho fell by her faith in hiding the spies and getting them out of the city. And Ruth, though a foreigner, took care of her mother-in-law and refused to leave her. In return, to her surprise, she ended up starting a whole new family and being great-grandmother to King David. And we don't even have time to go into the Proverbs 31 woman. So we want to build up and not tear down. How can we do that? For one thing, with patience and hard work. My sister-in-law's house took a long time to build, but our homes take even longer and a lot of intentionality. As Proverbs 31:27 says, "A wise woman watches over her household and does not eat the bread of idleness." Building a home requires attention to detail, diligence, effort. It doesn't just happen. Building a home also requires discretion, good judgment, tact, and caution. Proverbs 11:22 colorfully points out, "As a ring of gold in a pig's snout, so is a lovely woman who lacks discretion." As I have learned, a good wife and mother needs a good filter. I can't just say whatever comes to my mind. I have to decide, do these words build up or tear down? Speaking of words, a good wife needs to be careful about complaining or nagging. The Bible calls such contentions a continual dripping, which can go from being annoying to being destructive. Proverbs 21:19 warns men that it's better to live in the wilderness than with a contentious, angry woman. A woman who builds up her home is understanding, prudent, and trustworthy, worth more than any treasure. I'm sure you can attest to those and other qualities from homes you've been a part of or observed over the years. As Proverbs 31:30 says, "Charm is deceitful and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised." So the most important characteristic of a woman who builds up her home is that she puts the kingdom of God first and loves him with all her heart, soul, mind, and strength. Because unless the Lord is your builder, all your work is for nothing. How are you doing at building your house? How can you encourage your home builder today?
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. We'd love to hear the treasures God has given you through His Word. You can listen to other episodes at our website, which you can find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.